Welcome back to Technique Tuesday, and today we're going to do a little bit of basic bachata, difference between leading a side basic and a forward and back basic.
Also, this was a request from one of our subscribers, so thank you so much. I'm going to put her handle up right here. Thank you for the request, and I hope you like this video. Also, if you have any requests, we try to do as many as possible, so be sure not to be shy and put them down below, and we'll get to them as soon as possible. Let's get in.
Cool. So, side basic and a progressive basic, or forward and back, right? So, I have a side basic here, the very first pattern you learn in bachata, and we have a forward and back basic here, one of maybe the second or third patterns you learn in bachata. So how I lead the difference between these two patterns effectively, and I make it clear for my follower, hopefully, right? So the whole point of how I change directions effectively is that I stop my momentum moving to the side, and I start to send my body forward in the direction that I want to move in next. She can only feel my body, my upper half. She can't sense what my feet are doing necessarily, right? Let's say at least in a beginner level. So I need to move my body in the direction I want to go in before my feet start to move there, which is also kind of true for the side basic. So let's say I want to do a side basic. My body starts to move in that direction a little bit before I take a step. This is slightly more advanced, but it makes even more sense in the forward and back basic that I move myself, and now she's aware of where I want to go before my feet take that step. And if you see from the side again here, now me going forward and backwards, I start to move myself in this direction before I go take my first step. Because if the opposite were true, and I move my feet first, I'd be kicking her out of the way, which isn't a very comfortable way to follow this pattern, right? So if you see the transition again from the beginning, we're moving to the side. When I want to go forward, I start to move my body in that direction first, and she feels it. And if I want to change back again to a side basic, I hold her up a little bit, my body moves in that direction first. I can continue with the same thing, or again I start to send myself in the new direction so she can feel it instead of me just kind of kicking her out of the way with my feet there.
So some common things that happen is the leader is maybe confident in what he wants to do, but then he'll feel a slight resistance from his partner, who this is okay. We don't want to give a ton of resistance on purpose. It's just something to keep us connected to our partner, which we'll talk about in a second. Then they kind of stop and they get kind of like, oh, maybe I made a mistake, or she doesn't want to go, but you do want to just kind of be confident in your decision. Say, no, we're gonna go this way, and she'll catch on soon enough. If you're dancing with a very beginner student, she might resist a little bit more, and this is okay. With time, it's gonna become more comfortable, you'll become more familiar with the transition, but you will most likely get a little bit of a resistance from her because she's very used to going to side at this point. So it is a hard transition to master on the first couple tries. So make sure you practice and get used to kind of going against the grain a little bit. Second thing I want to talk about is connection. So we've had a bunch of videos already on how to connect to your partner, but if he leads with his spine, that's all well and good unless he uses his frame to also keep that connection. So what I mean is if he starts to go forward but lets his arms or elbows go behind him, then it's not gonna work. I'm not gonna get the picture. So we wanna make sure that his elbows and my elbows stay in front of our bodies. So let's do a bad one first just to kind of demonstrate, where we both kind of let our bodies go, and then you can see we have this like chest bump thing, which is an exaggeration. So that's what you know not to do. So if we both have our elbows slightly in front of each other, it's gonna give this positive connection towards one another. And same thing goes for the side, but for the forward and back, if I stay forward towards my partner, he stays confidently going forward with his arms in front of him, most likely our connection itself is gonna be good. And that goes for side to side as well. A little bit different there, but that can be another topic of discussion.
Really important not push and pull your partner, or in this case, push in the direction you want to move in. So we mean my body, I don't mean my hands moving that direction. So like a good exercise maybe to do with the hands flat in front of you, and to be aware that it's my body with my arms staying where they are is moving into my partner, and it's not my hands pushing her to move backwards before I want to move in that direction.
It's a great point.
Because in the context of the frame, if I do my side basic and then I want to send her backwards, if I push her with my hands first and then start to move after her, that's not what we mean by moving the body first.
He definitely means his whole spine, and that's included with his body all in one unit, even though his spine initiates the action. In a beginner sense anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure you noticed these sweet t-shirts we're wearing. And this is our first design we're putting out in the shop on the ballroom.com. We'll have this little shop, and monthly now we're gonna put out new designs of t-shirts. So if you like them, you can pick them up there at the shop, and we'll be doing some giveaways every month as well for the t-shirts that we put out.
It would mean so much for us. Thank you all for so much support by watching our videos. But if you want to support us even more, this would be awesome, and you get a sweet t-shirt out of it. So we'll be sure to put a close-up of this, our first design, out as well. It's Ballroom Dancer Nutrition Facts. So it's definitely very unique, and I think it's a very cool design, so go check that out.
That's it for Technique Tuesday, some bachata basics, and thank you for watching Ball and Feed. We'll see you next week.